When you come from a famous family, there's usually that one member who becomes a star while the other is forgotten about. Today's story is about one of the Franklin sisters who is largely forgotten. Carolyn, she may not have had songs like Irma or been a global star like Aretha, but her contributions to soul music should not be overlooked. Before we get started in today's video, let's leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and push that notification bell to stay up to date. Now without further ado, let's cue that intro. Carolyn Ann Franklin was born on May 13, 1944 in Memphis, Tennessee. She is Barbara and Reverend C.L. Franklin's youngest child. Her family would relocate to Buffalo, New York when she was 2 years old. Now, because C.L. Franklin was a traveling minister, the family, they would relocate a lot. When Reverend Franklin became the new minister at the New Bethel Baptist Church, the family, they would relocate to Detroit. Now during this period, the Franklin sisters, they began on their vocal training by singing in the church choir. Now music royalty has long surrounded the Franklin sisters. The Franklin's mansion had hosted many singers from many genres such as jazz, soul, and the blues. Many legendary performers had passed through the Franklin's doors such as B.B. King, Sam Cooke, and Ray Charles, among many others. Diana Ross and Mary Wells will both feature Supreme members and will also be Franklin's classmates at Elgar Elementary. Now, people who grew up with Franklin during this time will describe her as some sort of a bully as early as elementary school. They will say that she would use her family name as leverage against others. Franklin, she would later attend Northwestern and Cass Technical High School. After high school, she would attend the University of Southern California, and in college, both her sisters was living in New York with their own record deals at this time. So she would visit New York on a regular basis. And while in New York, she would even attempt a singing career, singing under the name Candy Carroll. Her first attempt at a singing career would fail, so she would return home to Detroit. In Detroit, she would try to live a normal life by working at the local post office. Now, Carolyn co-workers and bosses, they claimed that they disliked her because they felt that she was taking up space and didn't need to work because her family was already famous. Because she didn't talk to anyone at work, she started writing songs. Now, Carolyn, she will form a close friendship with soul singer Betty LaVette while living in Detroit. LaVette, she would describe the Franklin sisters' characters by saying Irma was very modest, Aretha was Baptist, and Carolyn, she was neighborhood-ish. Carolyn, she would go on to play an essential role in Aretha Franklin's career. Now, Aretha, she would seek assistance from her sisters after signing with Atlantic. She would use her sisters' gospel-inspiring vocals in the backdrop. Now, Irma and Carolyn, they would sing background vocals on Aretha's hits like You Made Me Feel Like a Natural Woman, Daydreaming, Baby I Love You, and Respect. Carolyn, she would put her writing skills to the test by penning several popular songs for Aretha, including Baby Baby Baby, Save Me, Ain't Nobody Gonna Turn Me Around, and Ain't No Way. Now, the song Ain't No Way elevated Carolyn's songwriting abilities, and it's also brought some negative attention to the spotlight as many people started to question her sexuality. When LaVette was asked if Carolyn liked women, she stated that she didn't think she was upfront about her sexuality because of her father's position in the church and community. However, she did date Temptation member Otis Williams for a brief period. Now that Franklin established herself as a potential songwriter, she would choose to follow in her sister's footsteps, and she would sign a deal with RCA Records in March of 1969. Her debut album was released in May of 1969 titled Baby Dynamite. Now, critics, they will compare the styles of the sisters' debut album, and they will say Irma had a jazzy tone, Aretha had a gospel and blues sound, while Carolyn had a harsher, less polished sound. Now during this time, she was aware that her family name could propel her in the industry as a songwriter, but she still had a desire to sing. She would be given a chance that would really shift her entire career. She was the original person chosen to provide the soundtrack for the film Sparkle, but when Aretha obtained a copy of the soundtrack, she insisted on singing it instead, and Minister Franklin would talk Carolyn out of the project, and then the rest became history. Carolyn desperately wanted to sing, but everyone kept putting her in Aretha's shadow. In fact, both sisters was continually compared to Aretha. She was distraught that her breakthrough opportunity had been taken away from her and given to her sister, who was already a global superstar at this time. Carolyn, she would spend time juggling around multiple projects, such as writing material for the Staple Singers and taking acting classes in Los Angeles. She would also release 5 albums during the course of her 13-year career, when in 1976, she would officially retire from the music business. From time to time, she would return to sing alongside her sisters. Now, Carolyn and Aretha featured on the 1980s film, The Blues Brothers. And in 1979, Carolyn, she would return to Detroit for good to take care of their father, who has been shot and was in a coma at this time. While in Detroit, she would decide to finish her college career, and in 1982, she would enroll at Marygrove College. Now, Carolyn, she was attempting to take the music industry by storm. She was going to change the whole game up. She was trying to establish her own law company to assist musicians in navigating in the music industry. In March of 1987, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. That next year, her health began to deteriorate. Now, Carolyn's situation didn't get any better, and the family, they realized that she wasn't going to make it to graduation. So Irma, she would call Carolyn's college and explain to them what was going on, and since she was on the right pace to graduate, the college, they agreed, and they was able to allow Carolyn to graduate. Due to the loss of her ability to walk, it prevented her from actually walking across the stage. But Carolyn, she did not let that stop her from wearing her cap and gown while they gave her her diploma in her hospital bed. April 25th, 1988, Carolyn, she would sadly pass away at the age of 43, just 1 week after graduation and 2 weeks before her 44th birthday. Now, Carolyn, believe it or not, was a legend. She was a songwriter with Billboard hits, also incredibly diverse and very, very creative. And most importantly, she refused to be eclipsed by Aretha's shadow and demanded her own light to shine.